Hello, and welcome to Code with NM. And today is very important topic and the most important topic for any programming language. It's API. So before starting, I just want you all to quickly comment what is the full form of API. Quickly, just comment what is the full form of API, and then we can start. And today's topic is the important topic, so I won't be waiting for Q&A session. Let's keep it the Q&A session at the very end, and I will be start into the APIs, because there is a lot of thing. It's just not about the APIs, how the data is coming, what is the format of data, and how we can deal with the different types of datas in Python. So there are much more important things in today's life I need to cover. So I will be doing a Q&A session at very end. So quickly answer this. What is the full form of API? Okay. One has answer already. API is application programming interface, and perfect. You are right. Clap for you. So the full form of API is nothing but application programming interface. So let's jump into API itself. Okay. So Python APIs, as we are learning Python and it's for beginner. If you are already know about APIs and how to code APIs in Python, you can skip a few parts, as I add timestamp after the live is completed. This video gets offline, so you all can revise what has been taught in this video. So I add timestamp, so based on those timestamp you can skip the topic if required. Okay, or else you can jump on those topics that aren't clear in the life. Okay, let's start with Python APIs for beginners. So simple. Today's goal, it's simple. There are two things which I will be covering in today's life. First is live data, and second is the practical application, which is nothing but our real world project. So before understanding what is APIs and other things, let's understand what live data is all about. You're all aware of data. For example, we have already seen, we have created a variable name and we have assigned a value like my name is Nilesh or Rahul and Priya. So much example we have already seen of variables like age and number, and these are data. But what we meant live data over here, first thing first. Okay, so just simple definition I have written. What you will be getting after this session end, by the end of this session, you will be understand how Python, because we are learning Python, how Python retrieves live data. Now from where? From online sources. Because what do you mean by live? Going live means going on internet. Going live means going on internet, going online. That simply means going live. So live data means the data which is present online. That is the live data I'm talking about. So at the end of the session, you will learn how Python, and with the help of Python, here Python means ultimately you, with the help of Python, how you will retrieve those live data from various online sources. Okay, and empowering you to make decisions and enhance application. That simply means once you get the data from the real world online or XYZ website, then you can do whatever you want to do with data. Okay, that's what that complete definition means. Now the second part is the practical application. So the practical application is learning to enhance the live data. Means now I got those datas. For example, I am scraping one website, and from that website, with the help of web scraper, I got those datas. Now what to do it? How can I perform anything on it? So for that, first you need to understand what that live data is all about. What is it data type? What is the format? That you need to understand, and that I have covered in this live also. So once you understand what is the format of data and what type of data it is, you can enhance it. Means you can use it for your applications or website you are creating. Okay, I hope you understand this. Let me open the live chat also. Yo, would you like helping me code as multi-tool with C++? I already have it done in Python, but I need it in C++. Sure. You can, I've already pinged my website and Discord link. Just join the Discord and there we can connect offline. Okay. So you understand that today's roadmap is all about first understanding the live data in a form of course API only, and then understanding the data itself and how we can utilize it. That's what the today's goal is all about. So at the end of this live, you will know how you using Python can retrieve live data. Okay, let's jump onto the next slide. Okay, source of live data in applications. Let's take the real world application itself. So Instagram is real world application. We all use Instagram every now and then. I think now Gen Zs use it in every 1 seconds, I think, or few maybe using it after 1 minute, and they are weak because Gen Z are the one who are always on their phones. So that's why the second is the Swiggy and the third is the weather app, because you all are aware of that. While learning APIs in Python, we all create weather apps. So that's why I've taken that common example. Okay, so Instagram fetches live followers count and posts. Perfect. You see, if you follow any of the page or you follow any of the individual on Instagram, you can see how many people he's following or he's follower or she, and what are the posts they have done. Same Swiggy provides real-time restaurant menu and offers 50% or 16% discount on XYZ food you try to order from any restaurant menu. This all are the live data I'm talking about. And weather offers up-to-date forecast and alerts that today is the monsoon, as I born and brought up in Mumbai. So here it's from last 4 days, it's raining heavily. So this type of data we get from the weather application. Okay. So this is the source of live data in applications, in real world applications. So let's see another example and how this application, how this apps fetches all this data. So I've created one small, very small example. That first is you, means the user initiate a request for data, of course, and then the mobile application you are using, you can say Instagram or the Swiggy or Zomato, and then the mobile app, the app formats the data for display. So what is the app role? It's format the data that you see on your end device, which is your mobile phone. Now, the third is the API itself. The API process the request and respond. We will go into the technical terms, what is a request, what is respond, but just understand this flow. And the fourth is the database. The database store and retrieves the request data. So retrieve means to get the data, and requesting means simply requesting the data. Respond means giving back the response. So database also responds to API also get the response from the database, and this is how it works. So ultimately, what is the flow? The user requests the data. For example, if you just go and visit someone's page, so for example, you visit the code with NM page. Now you are the one who requested for code with NM page, Instagram page on Instagram. You requested to whom? You requested to server itself. Now what is server? Server is nothing but a combination of computers. For example, you have your laptop. That laptop will have a GPU, CPU, RAMs and SSD in place. So multiple types of, sorry, n numbers of computers. For example, 5 or 6 or 10, and depending on the use cases, there are n numbers of computers which are connected within a complete circuit is known as servers. Means it is an intelligent thing like a computer. It, if you request something from your computer, for example shutdown, for example open a file, you double click it, open a file, it understand your request and fulfill and it brings the response to you. What is the response? You double click the file, it opened that file. The double click was your request and the file opening is the response from your computer. This I'm explaining in the terms of a local language in programming world. How this in real world happens? This is our example. Like you request code with an page for Instagram, that what it initiate a request from your side to Instagram server. Then the server will take this request to the database, and inside database there will be a search query trigger, and then among the server and database, the query will search for code with NM page. The database gives this code with NM page to API. API is the responsible here to bring that page to you. Simply, this is how an app fetches the data, and who triggers it? We are the end user who is triggering this. I hope you understand this. Let's jump onto the analogy of the API, like customer service. Let's take an example, then you will get a much more clearance of this. So service model in restaurant, the customer interacts with waiter. Of course, you all have been to a restaurant XYZ, and you won't directly interact with chef. Yes, you won't go to the kitchen and order whatever you want to have. Of course, what you do, you order your food. There is a waiter, he comes and takes your order. Yes, that is how the API also work. So in restaurant, the customer interacts with the waiter and who conveys their order to the kitchen. Waiter is the one who conveys your order to the kitchen, to the chef. This model minus how API acts as intermediary for data request. Simple. So here in our API case example, API is that waiter. I hope you understand this example. What is API? API is the waiter. You are the customer, and the server or the database itself is the kitchen. Hope you understand. Just as a waiter efficiently deliver a message between customer and chef. An API facilitated communication between a Python program and a database, ensuring smooth data action. That's the definition I have written. But understand this, the API is the waiter between customer and kitchen itself. This is the easiest example for you to understand it. Okay. Now let's understand the real world APIs, exploring practical application, and we will be seeing a few codes. This is the PPT I've created for you to first understand what is API is all about, and then I will be doing codes and everything for you to get that terminology in terms of code also. Okay. So real world APIs, exploring practical application. For example, the weather, I've already talked about the weather application. Access real time data for forecast and condition. Of course, this is also achieved by the help of APIs. Then currency, instantly converts and track global currency value. For example, if you are traveling to US from India or Malaysia or Japan, and first thing you do is you see what is the INR conversion in dollars and vice versa. Okay, that is a currency conversion, and that is also based on the live data itself, because it fluctuate day to day life, the value of dollars or rupees and XYZ. Okay. The next is restaurant, discover menus and reviews from local eaters. For example, you open your Swiggy or Zomato, the from individual restaurants, it is also live data. Why? Because there are hundreds or thousands of people are ordering from that particular restaurants, and they are giving their feedbacks, and that is of course live. So that is the real world APIs example over here. Okay. Now let's see how Python handles data first of all, and then what is the data is all about here. Why we need to see how Python handles the data? Because in website, how Python deals it and how website responds or get the data is completely in different formats. So we need to first see how Python handles data, and then we will be seeing how website handling data. Okay. Up till now, is there any doubt? Just comment it and I will be clearing right away, or else I will be jumping on to the next topic. Okay. Okay, let's how Python handles data. There are only the set of collections to handle uh, Python handles data in. So right now we are going to see the coding part of the Python handling the data. So let's start with that. Okay, so Python handles the data in form of collections. We have 4 collections. First is list, tuple, dictionary, and set. Okay. I hope you remember this. If not, I have already explained this in my one of the live. You can visit codewithnm YouTube and go to the playlist, and you can find the collections and understand the collections and everything over there. Okay, how, what is collection, how to create it, what is dictionary and everything here, because I'm using dictionary, because to handle data, if the data is complex, key and value pair is the best things we can do. Okay, and I'm taking a random example. So this is the hard coded data. Understand this. This is a hard coded data I've created. This is simply a dictionary. And what we can do then, we can directly print student over here. And this is the easiest example, because I just want you to recall how Python handles the data simply, or nothing else. Let's save it and execute it. You can see, okay, this is a dictionary with a key and value. Key is name and the value is Nilesh. Key is age and the value is 23. Key is course and the value is Python. This is how Python handles data using one of the collection. You can achieve this by using the list also, tuple also, and set also. Okay, just I am recalling this, that's why I have done this code, nothing else. Okay, now let's jump onto the very important topic, that in which format APIs bring the data, or the server or the web handles the data. So that is the most important thing over here. Okay, so now you recall how Python handles data, understand how Python handles data. Now let's understand how our internet handles the data. So internet handles the data in a form of JSON. Now first thing first, what is JSON? If any one of you know the full form of JSON, I will wait for a few seconds and just type the full form of JSON in the chat. It's easy, nobody knows it. Okay, no worries if you are not, because I've seen you replying, you all are replying to full form of APIs, which is application programming interface. So I thought you all will be knowing the full form of JSON. It's JavaScript object notation. Simple. Now you have commented after I have just revealed what is the full form of JSON. No worries. Okay. So now what is JavaScript object notation? In short, JSON. So first the definition. JSON is a lightweight data exchange format. That's why the complete internet use JSON, or else why can't we use dictionary or other things over internet? Because they are not that lightweight compared to JSON. That's why the complete internet is working on JSON. So if you are not learning Python, if you are dealing with Java, if you are learning with Node.js or Express.js or React, you must, or you need to learn, and you need to know what is JSON is all about. So understand it right here, and any other programming language, JSON is the same only. Okay, the definition is JSON is a lightweight data exchange format. Simple. Now structure, it's similar like a dictionary also. It uses key value pairs for organizing the data. So that's why I took the example of dictionary among out of 4 collections in Python. So it's the same like dictionary. JSON also uses key and value pair. And uh, the third point is JSON is widely used in web APIs. Simply wherever the API term is there, you by default the JSON is there, because web APIs deal with JSON only. Okay. Hope up till now this is clear. So exploring a JSON object structure. So understanding JSON organization in JSON. So structure in a cleat format. So let's jump onto the code part of it, and let's see how actually the structure of JSON is uh, all about. Okay, this was the student we have already created. I will be just converting this dictionary into JSON data itself. Let's name it JSON data, and it should be like this, and of course JSON data. Let's save it and execute it, and you can see the output. What is the only difference between dictionary and JSON data is, first of all, first thing first, what is the visual difference you can see on the terminal? This is a visual difference. The dictionary appears in a single line. The JSON is a formatted structured data. This is the structure of it. It comes like this only. The curly braces open on the next line, the first key and value, the second line, second key and value, and the third key and value, and then if there is n dot 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 n up till n, and the ending of that closing of the curly braces. Of course. So understood it, this is a visual difference. But then what is the second difference you can see? The second difference over here is this. This is the second difference. If I remove this JSON data will ultimately become dictionary in Python. But with the string, this is known as string. I've converted the entire thing into a string because JSON works, the complete JSON is a list of string or a nested objects. So this is an object. I will explain you this on a later part in the detail. This is an object right now. You just understand this completely from this curly braces to line number 5. This is an object. That's why it is known as JavaScript object notation. So we need to understand what object over here is. This is the object. Now don't mix with the classes and object. Just understand this is an object, and I will later on in detail will explain you what is the object is all about. Okay. So there is no app.dictionary. Have you ever heard, like for example, you have heard app.c, that is .c is the extension of C. You have heard app.cpp, that is the extension of C++. You have also heard app.java. The .java is the extension of Java programs, and app.py is the extension of Python program. But you have ever heard app.dictionary? No, because there is nothing like this. But we have a JSON, not only the JSON format but also the JSON file, and you need to create a JSON file. For example, in our case we have took the student, so we will be creating student.json, and that is a valid file. So let's create that file, student.json. I've created it, and you can see the VS Code already identify, after adding .json, identify it as a JSON file. So the symbol has changed. We have Python file symbol, and you can see the icon. The symbol means the icon over here is in the JSON format. Okay, and let's have this entire thing into our file. Meantime, also let me check the live chat. Okay. So now we don't need this data, and here is our JSON data. So how to create, first of all, the JSON file? This is very much important. Student dot anything, you can name your file anything. I'm just taking because we have started with the story mode as a code with an M institute. That's why I'm taking this example as student.json, or else whatever you can name it. If it is an inventory management, so you can name your inventory management something, and then you can say that whatever dot JSON, and this becomes our local DB. This JSON is became our local DB. Now I can add anything to this JSON with the help of API. I can retrieve, means get anything from this student.json file, which is my local DB. I hope you got it. What is local DB means? This JSON is now acting as my local DB. For learning point of perspective, this is very good and cool, student.json, because it doesn't have any type of security over here. So we can't use in real world. That's why there are other programming language, because just creating a database locally doesn't make sense. We need to have a query search and other things, if you know MySQL or MongoDB and other things. So we need to have those things in the place. So I've created the local DB just for this is the for learning perspective. We have created the local DB, and for why local DB is being created, if you are testing your application locally, you can create a temporary local DB. This is the data which is student.json is holding, and we can test it. After that, we need to delete that file before just publishing our website live or deploying it to the cloud. Okay. Okay. So we'll call this student.json in app.py, and we will see how Python communicates with JSON. That's what our ultimate goal is all about, how Python communicates with the JSON. But before that, we need to understand one thing. So let me jump onto the PPT. So that thing is Python versus JSON and data types. Understanding the key difference in formats. I've already explained you the dictionary and the JSON difference, but let's understand here also. You will be clear. So this session highlights the essential difference between Python data types and their JSON counterparts, emphasizing how dictionary list and others, I've already told you this, other structures translate in web application. How Python list, or if you're using tuple, or if you're using dictionary, or if you're using set, how that translate into a web application, for example, in a format of JSON, because APIs or anything on the web communicates in the form of JSON itself. If I'm going too fast, and for you all, if you are not catching up with me, just let me know in the live chat. I will be going a bit slow, or else it's fine for you. I will be going with the speed. Okay. Okay, let's jump onto the next part, and then we will be seeing code. So JSON file, local data representation, that's what I've created. The file I represent the lightweight data format. We have already created the file, and I've already explained you how the data and the representation of a student.json is all about. Okay, the next part is the actual part that I have told, is reading the JSON file in Python. How we will read all the parameters inside, means all the data inside the JSON file with the help of Python. So ultimately in this section, we will explore how effectively reading JSON file using Python and leveraging our built-in JSON module to convert JSON. Okay. So we need to manipulate and do some things on the data. We will see those things. Okay, for first thing first, let's quickly read that student.json file, because don't forget our ultimate goal, that is all about how Python, means ultimately you using Python can get the live data from the web. That was our ultimate goal. Okay, so let's import JSON. This is an inbuilt library of Python. So this is a inbuilt library of Python. How I know? Of course, I already know, but if you are not sure, that that if you're using any inbuilt library of Python, it colors in VS Code change to green. Understood? And if you know about file handling, because student.json is ultimately a file, and I have already taught the file handling in my previous life. So make sure you go to the codewithnm and open the playlist, and go to the file handling, and just understand how file handling works in Python. Then only you can work with the JSON file, which is our local DB. Okay, and now I'm opening that student.json file, and we need to open it into the read mode, because I just want to read the content of our .json file. And then let me, after reading it, we need to store into some variable. So json.load is the actual function, and what we need to load is the file. Why? Because this file is ultimately, we are opening this file as file, and then we are passing that file which holds all the data from student.json, and we are passing it to the json.load. What json.load will do, I will be explaining you in few minutes. Let's see the example student, and let's save it, clear our console, and let's execute it. Okay, it says, okay, the ss, I have stored the file name as student.json, not students, and you can see it retrieves the data. But how it retrieved the data? Did it retrieve in the form of JSON? Because we have already seen in the just now that Python dictionary is in a single line, the output was in the single line, and JSON output was a structure output, starting with a curly brace in the next line, the key and value, and dot 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 line, and then closing. So is this a dictionary or a JSON? Just answer in the comment quickly, fast. Answer this in the comment. Hello, Shashank. Answer this. The student, the print student, this line number 4 variable student, is this output is in the dictionary or in the JSON format, as we are loading the JSON into a file and then we are passing the file over here. Just quickly, I just wait for you all to answer. Let's make this interaction, this session as an interacting one, because you are the one who are here to learn. So answering the question, either it be right or wrong. If it is wrong, you will learn something. It is right, then you are pro in Python and JSON. Okay. So quickly answer this. Okay. So this is nothing but dictionary. We have already seen this is nothing but a dictionary in the example. Now, how it got converted into dictionary, where that magic happens, and that is the most important thing. The magic happens on the line number 4 itself. Up till here, it was JSON. We have loaded the JSON into the file. But on line number 4, when we created our new variable to load all the content of that file, that JSON.load is the responsible to convert the JSON data into Python object. And basically, it can convert into two objects, either dictionary or list. Understood? So what does this JSON.load do? It converts the JSON format into dictionary or list. As simple as that. And this is very much important in terms of your dealing with the APIs in Python. So you need to know what JSON.load do. For that, you need to know what is the difference between list and dictionary, and of course, what is the difference between Python objects, collection objects, and JSON format. Hope you understand this. If there is any doubt, just comment. Why we use JSON? Okay, if you, Shashank, if you join now, we are learning the APIs. And to understand the API first, we need to understand what APIs do and what is APIs all about, and of course, in which format API handles the data. So that's what we are learning. That's why the JSON is came into the picture. Okay. 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 Let's, if you understand this, let's continue with our PPT. So we have successfully read the file, and we understood the JSON.load. And remember that this is very much important. Why JSON.load? Because every time when you fetch any API from internet, or you creating your API, that API will be converting JSON.load will be converting that JSON data format into Python collection objects, which is nothing but dictionary and list. It won't convert into set and tuple, but it will do in the two format only, which is dictionary and list, and most probably in dictionary. So by heart this. I'm working as SOC analyst and wants to learn Python from basic scripting. Can you recommend a video? Yes, of course. You just go to codewithnm and go to my playlist and start the first playlist, and there you will be understanding what is Python all about. And I have a proper roadmap, so follow that roadmap and you will be learning Python in if you can dedicate your time at least a week or 10 days. In 10 days you can master Python. Okay, Python is not that hard. Python is the most easiest programming language is Python, and most difficult programming language is C. And if you all are not sure about embedded programming embedded languages, that is the most toughest languages in the world, and easiest is Python. Okay, so now accessing the data from JSON. Sure, thank you. I'm not sure your name is, but it shows Blazer. So thanks a lot and welcome to Code with NM family. So back to the topic again, accessing the data from JSON. So in Python, accessing data in JSON 5 involves loading the JSON. We have already loaded the file. We have opened the file and loaded and converted that file into dictionary. So that's what the definition says. The JSON contained into a dictionary or a list format, and that allows a easy manipulation. Why? Because because Python directly can't deal with the JSON format data. Python can only deal with the dictionary and list, the collections that Python is aware of. So once it converted into dictionary or list, you can manipulate the data. Now it's just a list or a dictionary. Now with the help of all the function that list or dictionary, all the functions like append, add, pop, we have seen all this. And if you are not aware of this type of function, I've already in my previous life I've taught all this from scratch. So make sure you go to the codewithnm and go to the playlist and check that video and learn all those functions again. Okay. C is the hardest programming language. C++, if you master C, then C++ is not that hard if you know object oriented programming, and if you have very hands-on knowledge on C. C is the hardest because C can directly interact with your system RAM and manipulate it if you're not aware of this. Because I've created my own programming language way before, when I was in 2016 in my college days, or I think, or I was at that time I was intern, I think, in 2016. So that time I've created my own programming language, and with the help of C only I've created my own programming language. That's why I know, because in C you learn what is compiler is all about. If you don't know the compiler, how compiler works, you can't create your own programming language. And if you need to master any of the programming language, you need to master the compiler, how compiler works. Okay. So if you understand the accessing data, now understand the local versus internet data. So what is local data and what is live data? That's what I've started this session about live data. So local data is stored in a file. Like for our example is student.json. We have 3 keys and values over there, and allowing easy access and manipulation within your Python program without needing an internet connection. The local data simply means you are not connected to the internet, and that data doesn't have any type of security or any types of rules and regulation over it, and you can directly access it, convert it to dictionary, and can perform any type of operation which Pythons allow it on dictionary. Of course, that is local data. Now what is live data? Python was built with the help of C. Simple. Python is built on C only. So internet data requires API calls to fetch real time. Of course, first thing first, if you are dealing with internet data, there the only thing that data comes to you is in the form of API. API is the one who is responsible to bring that data to you. Understand this? We have already seen an example, like in a restaurant, you go and order your food. The waiter is the one who take your order and then go to the kitchen, and just whatever you ordered it conveys to the kitchen itself. So that's how this API is. API, just you request the data from a particular API. That API goes to the internet or server, and then the DB connection and other things, and then it fetches those data and brings to you. That's what the API is. So first thing first, you need to be online. You need to connect with the API itself. Of course, you need to connect with the internet itself to access online data, or else your API won't work. If it is an online API, if you have created your own API locally, it will work on localhost 3088 in whatever the port you have given to it. And this is if you are getting it complex, that what is port, what is localhost, we will be seeing this all in the later part. Of course, now we are just understanding what is API and how to use it. Okay. So API calls to fetch the real-time information from online sources, enabling dynamic live update essential for application that depends on current data. Now, the difference between local data and live data is live data can change in real time. For example, I just fetch a data from Swiggy or Zomato or Google Maps and XYZ. It can change. It can vary the next second depending on the which API you are using. It might be the weather API. If it's not raining, after half an hour it started raining, that API data changes in half an hour. I'm just taking a example. Might this data can be, depending on the API, can change in within seconds also. Sir, I've used the request model in a project. Is it same as API? We will be seeing that request model live here only, and then you can compare with that example. Real and NumPy is a library of C. Now, Sashang and you can debate on this, and I will be continuing on the other part. Okay, the next is the request module itself. Okay, so now up till now, let me go back a step. Up till now, what we have said, what is API, what is live data. Our ultimate goal of this live is to not to learn API, but to understand how you, with the power of API, with the power of Python, can fetches the live data from internet. At the end of the session, you will be knowing and you will have an hands-on knowledge to fetch the data from internet. That's what this live is all about. Learning APIs and other things you can learn from here and there, but ultimately we need to have a hands-on knowledge and fetch any type of data from internet. That's what this live is all about. Okay, so we have learned about data, what is live data, what is a format of data which internets deal with, that is ultimately the JSON and the full form of JSON, what is the full form of API, how Python deals with data which is in the collection format, less than dictionary, and then how we use JSON.load to convert the JSON formatted data into dictionary. That's the code we have seen just now. Let me open that code quickly. So this was the simplest 5 lines of code or 4 lines of code, simple. So we have imported an inbuilt library known as JSON, and then we have opened the JSON student or JSON format, which we have already created. It holds nothing but a key, which is the name, and the value is Nilesh, the age and value, and the course, and the value is the Python. Simple. This is a JSON formatted, structure formatted, and then we loaded and opened the file into read mode, and then JSON.load converts that JSON formatted data into a dictionary format. Okay, up till now, if it is clear, just comment clear, and then I will be jumping onto the next topic. Again I'm just repeating myself. If I'm going very fast, just let me know that I'm going very fast, and I will be just slowing my pace. Or else, if you're comfortable with the speed, I'm happy enough to go with the speed. Clear. Okay. Okay, I think you already aware of loops and other things in Python, how loops works and other things works. So I will be just showing you one example, although I've only one JSON format over here. So but how loops we can loop also, because now it is in dictionary format, so I can use this students, and I can loop it through. Just so showing you that all the operations of Python is applicable on the dictionary, which we already know and which we already have done multiple times. And of course that dictionary is made up of the JSON only, so means ultimately this all are possible on JSON data itself. It's nothing, just I'm showing you, because if when this video goes offline, I don't want people get confused that I'm just saying, not showing the actual things. Okay, this is an student in students. We have students and print student dot name. Let me clear this also. Let me remove this and print student in name. Okay, so now see, if I need to access this name inside JSON, but is it this JSON format, or it is in, okay, let me first bring that output for you to understand. Let me comment this. Now it is converted into dictionary. Now if I want to access this name from the dictionary, how I can do it? And I love when error comes. Because uh, error is the thing which make us a software engineer. If you're solving the error every now and then you will be a software engineer. Okay, I just generated that error again. Let's see who can answer this, because we already have dealt with this error. Means we already deal with this error in previous life. So let's see who can answer this. I can see many names who already join my many lives from past many days. So let's see who can answer this. Here it says the error. I will just read out to you. Here it says string indices must be integer, not string. Simple. The error is, let me copy paste the error here and comment it. It says type error string indices means index must be integer, not string. Anyone? This type of challenges you will be facing in the interview. So make sure you try to answer it, because making a mistake right now and learning it is good enough, better than making a mistake in front of interviewer. Okay, risking here is nothing, but risking there will cost you your job. Nothing else. It's very simple. It's very simple. We need index number. So what should be the number? You are saying that I just remove the name from here and add the index number. See, here is the output. Name Nilesh, age 23, course Python. So if I pass index number, for example, let me pass 1 over here, and let's save it and see the output you mean to say. Let's execute it. See, the answer is, if I pass 1, the answer is AGO. What is this AGO? Means A from name. Understand this. If I enter 0 also, you will see this type of output. Understand this output first. We are learning dictionary from basic now. So what this AGO is, A from name, G from age, and O from course. That's what, if I pass 1 over here, it will give me this AGO. If you're saying let's pass 0 here, if I pass 0 here, it will give me NAC. Let me save it, clear the console and execute this. See, NAC. N from name, A from age, C from course. So with the help of index, I can only access the first letter of our keys. What is the issue here? Because majority time the programming language won't give you the error directly. They talk in parables. Means the actual error is something and they are saying that this is the error. So you need to identify that error what is. In real world, and if you're thinking if you get placed on job and then you will be creating application from scratch using AI and GPT and everything, then you are in dilemma, because there are, in real world, they have already have a lakhs and lakhs of lines of codes and file. They've already created their product which is uh, out there live, and you need to sit on some individual file depending on the Jira track which has been assigned to you, debug it and fix the code without AI and ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you use. How can you serialize a custom Python class object into JSON using JSON.dumps without converting it into a manually? Can you use JSON encoder? We will see JSON encoder once we start working with the APIs. Of course, we will be seeing encoders. Why we use JSON encoders? If you want to pass anything with the APIs, as in search query. Now what is search query? Just Google it out. Once I will be on that part, I will be explaining to others also. So encoder is being used when you pass something from yourself to the API to the server itself, and we will be seeing much more and detailed part of it, because that is a most important topic, the JSON encoders and parameters and other things. Okay, hope you any one of you are getting this error, or should I just solve it and just let's proceed? Because brainstorming is one of the most important thing in programming language. If you can't debug this right away right now in few minutes, then you need to spend 2 hours daily on Python to upgrade your Python knowledge, because copy pasting the code doesn't make you a Python developer. Make sure you you generate error purposely, you generate error and then you fix it. Again, I will just fix this and have it as a name. I will save it and generate that error. Done. The same error. I've already printed the dictionary format over here, so you just understand this dictionary and how we can access the name element from the dictionary. Okay, I will just give you this homework, and make sure you just answer this to me on Discord. Okay, it's a very simple, a very bare minimum change over here. Although Shashank tried it, and I just appreciate his trying, because the first thing came as a developer, the understanding this error is, it says that okay, this is a issue of indices, so just change the name to some index. That's the first thing. As the beginner in the software engineering, you just understand this error, and he tries to understand, and it's appreciable. He tried to answer it like pass 0 from here. Okay, so I just will share this code in the Discord for you all, and of course the JSON file too, and then you can also, without use name. Okay, you are saying if I don't pass name and save it. Okay, let me clear. Okay, if I'm not using name, it only prints the key, but we are interested in value, and the value should be Nilesh as an output. I'm not interested in 23 or Python. You understand what will be the ultimate output? It should print Nilesh. Simple. This is the difficult part, because when you are dealing with actual API in real world, getting the data and getting the API is easy, but manipulating the data which you have fetched in a form of JSON from that API and dealing with it is the difficult part. No, just use name instead of name. Okay, so you are saying just remove this. Okay, that's it. Double quotes. If I remove this, see, this is in a string format. Of course, here in below the output is also in string format. If I remove this, it will generate a new error. See, it generate a new error. Name is not defined, because we have defined the name in single quotes. I'm liking how you are debugging it with your brain. This is known as dry run. It's very good, and it will be helpful for your future only. Okay, I will be because this is live and this session will be offline later on, so I will be sharing this code in the Discord, and I will wait for you all to message me on Discord in person, that we have solved this without using GPT and all. Because if you dry run this and you solved it on your own, just tap your back, because this will be a one achievement for you all to solve this error. But if you using Google and anything else and you solve this, that doesn't make any sense. You won't learn anything. You just learn the theoretical concept. Okay, this was there and this was output, but your brain should trigger that answer, that how Shashank is doing it in live here, and that is appreciable. Okay, let's jump on to the next topic, which is nothing but request library. Okay, so first thing first. So let's see what is request library in Python. It is known as module. Any type of library in Python is known as module. Library we say in uh, JavaScript. Okay. So the request module, Python's HTTP library explains. So what is this HTTP is all about? What is this request is all about? And already you have heard, I think HTTPS, you are aware of that, what that S stands for in HTTP. This all we are going to see. Okay, the request module in Python simplifies making HTTP request. Means this request module brings us one library, which is this module brings us a, for example, a method which is known as, if we have a huge 55 GB JSON file, JSON.load will crash the RAM. How can you parse or stream large JSON file efficiently in Python? That, so use it. Okay, that's good. You all are interacting among yourself. I will give you one example, and I was working for one MNCs, and there was in JSON format we need to pass not 5 GB but more than 100 200 GBs of data. and that is not possible. You can't pass that much big data in form of APIs. So how we do it, we created a file format of it. I just can't disclose the exact thing because now that thing is being used in that company, and I'm not that part of company, so that is the code of conduct of that company. But we have converted that complete huge data into a file, and then we try to pass that file as a form of JSON. Okay, you can pass files and images and other things in form of JSON itself. Okay, that's the, I've just given you the hint, and just do the research work later on. Okay, so HTTP request, it comes from the request module itself, and allowing developers to easily interact with web APIs inside Python and retrieve the live data. Of course, to get the data, you need to use the HTTP request, and this library makes data handling seamless and efficiently. Okay, I hope you understand what this modules bring, and we will be seeing one coding example, and that will be your first interaction with HTTP with APIs. Okay, so exploring your first API and understanding the JSON placeholder API functionality. What is this? That means that API brings the JSON format data. So let's learn how to retrieve user data. Meantime, if you have any code regarding APIs, JSON, or anything else up till now we have talked about, so comment in the live chat, and I will be happy to answer it. Okay, so let's jump on to this, and I will be removing all of this. Let me comment it because I need to share it later on the Discord. And first thing first, so the request module, it is not by default, it is not a like JSON, it is not an inbuilt to Python. So you need to first install it, and the installation code of request module is pip install request. Now where to do it? You have a terminal in VS Code. Just open that terminal and copy this code, and let me paste this in the chat, and just paste it into your terminal in Python and just hit enter. I've already installed this, so I will redo it again for you all in live. It says the requirement already satisfied, because I have already done this, so it says requirement already satisfied. If the request library is not there into your system, it will download it for you all. Okay, so I will be waiting for a few seconds, and then I will be continuing. Meantime, let me go through the live chat. In Python, a dictionary key can be integers 1:a, but after json.dump and load, they become string 1:a. How do we fix this key type change? That's what the error was all about. Track hex world 590. The error we are getting over here is, that's what's the error all about. Understand this, in JSON format is always in the string. Once you convert that string into dictionary, what happens? That's what, if you know that thing, you can fix this error. There is a very small changes. That was the concept all about. If I answer that, you will get the solution for this code. That's why I'm not answering that. Okay, let's jump onto the actual request part, and let's actually see fetching a real world data. So how to import that module, request module, is simply just import request, like we have already done import JSON, and then I'm saying it URL, and I will be passing that URL. And what is URL? It's nothing but HTTPS and the complete, and I'm the fetching this with JSON placeholder. I will be sharing this with you all, so you all can also try this. This is completely free. This API is completely free, and out there are paid APIs also. Free APIs means open APIs also. Okay, so let me quickly share this with you all. Let me copy with this double quotes. Yes, so make sure URL, I'm just using URL, you can name it whatever you wanted. Okay, and then we will get, means what I'm trying to do over here is convert key bags after json.load. It's good you all are interacting with among yourself, but ultimately I need the answer what change I need to do in that above code. So interaction on the theoretical basis is cool, like people usually do on core and everything, but ultimately as being a software engineer we need to code. So discussing everything is good, that shows your theoretical knowledge and holds on the theoretical knowledge, but coding knowledge is the ultimate thing which will get you placed on lakhs of package, and that's what this live and journey and roadmap is all about, to make you market ready software engineer. I will answer that, but I want you all to try it, because I've just I think I'm doing 2.5 hours live, and there are 6 live I've already done, so there is ample of content I've delivered to you, and now I just want you all to answer the simple error, what is the solution to it. Okay, and meantime I will complete this code. Okay, this should be request, because we are requesting. Once I complete the code I will explain to you all what is going here, and let's print our response. Simple. This is a 4-line code, because Python is the easiest programming language. Why? Because it is an English based programming language, or else in other programming language this 4-line will be more than 10, 20, 25, 30, depending on what type of programming language you are using. Okay, so import request, we have imported the module request, and we have just passed the URL of the API. This is our API. Now this is API, but here is 2 things we need to understand. There is 2 things in API. What is that 2 things? First thing is the domain. Second thing is endpoint. Let me write it down here below. First thing is domain. Second thing is endpoint or endpoints. Okay, so you need to understand this too to identify what is API is. So my domain is this. This is my domain. JSON place.type code.com is my domain. What is my endpoint? /user is my endpoint. Understood? There's 2 things you need to understand very carefully. For example, if you're fetching Google Maps, so google.com will be your domain, /maps will be your endpoint. Understood? Yes or no? Clear? Yes, thumbs up, clear, anything is fine, so I can proceed with the other part, because this is most important. First, how to identify what is APIs. Once you understand this, then other things are very simple. I will wait for a few seconds for you all to reply. If you are not getting it, you can ask again that I didn't get it, what is domain and endpoint. Yes, you can use any URL as far as it is open and free, because there are paid APIs. This URL is nothing but the API itself. So there are paid APIs out there. What is API? That's endpoint makes it an API, /user is completely free. That's why I'm giving this example. And this is the domain. Domain plus endpoint makes it API. Simple. So we can use any URL which is free, or else if you are ready to pay them, just to, because I believe in learning should be free. Anything related to other things you can pay for them, but learning should be free. So don't spend money while time of learning, but spend money when you are creating something out of your knowledge. Okay, so I've created one variable name as response, because what we are doing is we are just triggering this API, means we are requesting this API. If you are requesting something, the API will return a response. That's why I named this variable as a response. And what response does, this is the request.get, means we want to get something from that API, and that something is ultimately the data itself. So I want to get data from this API, and after that data is being fetched, So get means fetching the data. After that data is being fetched, I'm saying store it into this response variable. Simple. And then I'm printing this response variable. Let's save it and see the output, what type of data this API will bring. So I've executed it, and it will take some time. So it says response 200. Does it make any sense? What is this response 200? We want that data inside this API, but it says response 200. Anyone knows what is response 200, then it's good. If not, I will explain you in few seconds. And here is two things. Why it, instead of returning data, why it has returned response 200, and where is the data? There is two questions should pop inside your mind. Think on it. Let's take few seconds to think on it. I just don't want to just teach and teach and teach and move on. I don't like that type of session, of course, and offline also, and online also. I just want you to answer. You need to do a brainstorming, thinking everything. Then only you can uh, learn something. 404 means error. Yes, that here we get a response 200. 404 is the other type of response. My question is, why it didn't return the data, and why it returned response 200? Although we have printed the response, which is the variable holding all the data. HTTP 200 is a success response, not an error. Yes, 200 means success. Of course, the next topic is all about the status code, which you all are talking about, but you went ahead of this topic. That is next topic. This is known as a status code. But my question is, where is our data? Understood my question? Where is our data? It should print na, like we have already seen, like I have printed student over here, so it printed the data dictionary. But why it is printing response 200, not the data? That's what my question is all about. Think on it. Let's take time. Let's take time, because it gives data in JSON format. Perfect. So what changes I need to do over here? What changes I need to do in this code so it won't return response dot 200? Meantime, I will. Perfect. You identified correctly. So it got the response in a JSON format. I use load and then print. Perfect. So let me just complete this everything. Now you got it, and you're thinking in a appropriate way. Okay. So I will be creating a new variable for you all to understand, or else I can do it in the same print only, but I just want you all to understand this. So response.json, and I will be explaining you what .json will do over here, of course, and then I will be just printing data over here, and that's what the output. And he perfectly answered it, so clap for Sashank. And he's actually learning and growing. I can see it. Let's clear it and execute the answer, and now you can see the data, and it is a huge data. If I just maximize my output terminal, you see it brings a huge data. Okay. And appreciate and clapping for Shashank. He identified that always the API brings the data in a JSON format, and we need to convert it. Okay. Now he told me use load. Like here we are using JSON.load, but here we are using .json. So now what .json do? It's very simple. I think you already know the answer, but although I will be answering it, but up till now you all get it, that Shashank got it. That's why he answered it, that you need to convert the data. The rest part I will explain you what is response.json. Up till now, if everything is clear, just comment clear and I will be answering why we used .json over here. Why not we have used json.load. Okay. Let me switch to live chat. Okay, I think only Shashank got it. Others, okay, if you are not getting it, let me just answer it. Okay, so this json.load read JSON from a file. What it does, it read JSON. First, it read JSON from a file and then convert it into a dictionary or list. This is clear. I think this is clear to everyone. Now this .json read JSON. Of course, this will also read the JSON, but from HTTP response. What was the major difference between those two? It is reading the JSON and converting it into the dictionary from a file. Means json.load will only applicable if we are dealing with a file. This is the one thing we need to understand. And here, are we dealing with a file? No, we are dealing with a real API which is live on internet, and we are dealing with it, and this is coming from an HTTP response. So if you're dealing with live data, means HTTP or HTTPS data. Why not HTTP or HTTP? I'm saying S is the secure. HTTP and HTTPS, the difference between those two is S, and S means secure. This is hosted on HTTPS, means secure server, but there is no lock to it. Lock means, if you are aware of API keys, you need to provide an API key to access an API. Means this is known as lock and key. Your API is locked, and if your user provide an appropriate key to that lock, they can access your API. Simple. But in our case, this is an open API. Why it is open? There is no lock and key, but it is hosted on an secure server. Okay, that's why I'm saying we are reading .json, read JSON data from HTTP response. So our response was HTTP, means we don't require an API key, and there is no lock to this API. So this .json then reading from HTTP and converts the data into list or dictionary. Understand? This was the major difference. Hope you all got it. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh, json.load for JSON file, but here is the data from the API. Yes, perfect, perfect. Now you got it. Okay, now we know the data. This is our data. Now this is our data. Now we can manipulate it because now we got the data. And this data, if you see, this is the box bracket, means it is a list, and inside list it's a dictionary, and this is known as array of object in JSON. So let's leave that part. I just went too ahead. So now let's jump onto the next topic, which is that I think you are already chatting in the live comment, was 200, 404. I've seen that. And what is that 200 and 404? So let's again jump onto the PPT first, and then we will be seeing what our status code. Okay, so you understand JSON API placeholder, how we fetched it, what was the code, very simple code, how we fetched it, why we use .json. And .json is very much important. The difference between .json and json.load is also important. Okay, if that is clear, let's jump onto the next topic, making your first API request. We already initiated it. We have created our and requested our first API using Python request model. The foundation skills means this was a very basic, this was a simplest and easiest example you can ever see about the fetching and data from internet using Python. Okay, so we have done this. So I will be jump on to the next slide. This is very much important that you all were discussing, understanding the HTTP status code for APIs. Now APIs comes with a status code. Why? Because we need to understand if our API fails, if the fetching of API fails, or anything we are doing with the API, updating it or anything else we are doing it, if it fails, there should be an error code. If there is a huge error message, it won't help us to debug it very quickly. That's why the error code is there. So 200 means the request was successful. 200 means any type of request you are getting means fetching the data, or you are updating the data, deleting the data, anything you are doing with the data using API, it will always return 200 if it is success. Understood? 404, you already know that page not found. You already know 404 as page not found. Anybody sees 404, the one thing strikes to their mind is page not found. But actually 404 means the requested resource is missing. For example, if you try to search some XYZ website, it says 4 not found, and everyone knows 404 is page not found. But actually that means 404 means requested data is not there, is not present on the server and also in the database. That's why that error code is 404. So you are all aware of 404, but in a wrong way, that the page is not found. Actually that page not, the data itself is not there. That's why the page is not there. Okay. And there is ample of error code starting from 100, 201, 202, 203, 204, and 500, 501, 502, 503, 504, 505, same 400. So I can't cover everything in life, but I'm covering the essential ones. So 500 means code 500 signifies an internal server error occurs, means something went wrong with the server itself. Okay, we will be generating this error purposely when we will be creating our own APIs, and that is a part of phase 3. We are today seeing the phase 2 at the very end. This is the APIs, and reading the APIs, reading the data live is the end of the phase 2. Then we will be starting phase 3. And in phase 3, we will be creating our own APIs, own database, creating the post call, put call, delete call. Obviously, we have seen the get call, request.get, we have seen it. And then we will be playing around the data. So the phase 3 is very much interesting, and I'm very much eager to teach you all that, because that is the interesting part. That is the very helpful in the real life, in the job world. And playing around the servers, playing around the data, playing around the APIs is the most interesting part for me, because I've started my career as a full stack cloud engineer, and now I am full stack AI engineer. Over the years, I've learned creating AIs and agents and everything. Okay, understand what is the status code is all about. So let's see how we can get the status code in code. Okay, so let me open my VS code. Let's come here, and I will be changing this data itself, because after anything, if I print after this huge data won't be visible. So let's print response, because the response is the responsible for the HTTP request. I'm not doing anything with the data, because data itself hold the data. It won't return any type of status code. Status code will only be written from the API or the HTTP things. What is the full form of HTTP? Just commented fast. What is the full form of HTTP? Meantime, I'm just saving it, clearing the console and executing it, and you will see 200, because we got the data, means this is the API is working. We requested the data, and we already seen the data. So the status code should be 200, means it is success. We have successfully got the data. Okay. What is the full form of HTTP? S, I've already told, it's secure. HTTP S. S is secure. What is the full form of HTTP? Fast. half of I know behind the scene what a half of you are doing. You're just googling it out. Make sure you just by heart this full form of few of things like APIs and JSON and HTTP. You should know this if you want to work with yes, hypertext transfer protocol. Now this is very interesting. This I'm going off topic for a minute, but this is interesting for you all. Now website deals with internet deals with, you can't directly create UI from Python. You can create UI with Python, but can you host it? You can create UI with Java, but can you host it? Can you host anything from a backend language or programming language? No. Why? HTML is required each and every places. Also React has HTML, Angular has HTML, so don't argue with me that React and Angular don't have. They have. Why only web reads HTML file only? Because the full form of HTTP is itself is hypertext transfer protocol. And what is the full form of HTML? Hypertext markup language. I don't want to waste the time. Hypertext markup language for you all. So now you understand why HTML, why web only read HTML, and why it understand only HTML, and any communication on internet is through HTML file itself only. Understand this was very interesting, and I just pop up in my mind, so I just thought of sharing in between. Back to the Python. Those who are interested in creating UI and everything, that's why I've told it, because if you are interested in learning APIs and stuff, so you need to learn HTML and how webs works. Okay, just learning APIs and everything will make you a backend engineer, but sometimes we need to know about the front end a bit for debugging and anything. Okay, so let's jump on to and continue our API journey. Okay, and okay, so we understand the status code. Also we have seen the code, how it will return, and why we haven't used the data, but we have used the response variable, because the response variable is the one who is requesting the URL about the data. That is the request.get is the ultimately HTTP request we are doing. Okay, let me just have it here in comment. This request.get is ultimately nothing but http.get, means we are asking, sorry, http not http, http.get. This is ultimately http.get. okay, so might you have seen on some places, that's why I'm just writing this is what we are asking the server about this URL, that get the data from this URL. So it will return a response as a status code. That's why we have seen the response 200 we were seeing, and then we converted those data into Python readable format, and then we printed it. Okay, let me jump to the PPT itself. Now let's continue with the PPT. Any doubt, meantime you can just comment in the live chat and I will be happy to answer it. Okay, now JSON response to Python list. So this is the three things we need to understand, and then we will be continuing. Now what is JSON response? Okay, so it's simple conversion. We have already seen this. JSON transform data transform into Python structure. We have seen structure organized data helps in easier access, because JSON is in structure format. Usability, simple code allow dynamic data handling. Of course, our code is very simple, 3 to 4 line of code. Data is very huge. So now we can do anything with that data. We can segregate the data. We can clear the data in simple terms. We can have, if just let me open the data itself for you all to understand a bit. For okay, let me unprint this, save it, clear the console. Okay, let's first see the data itself. And if you see it, it takes few seconds to bring the data, because what my Python code is doing, actually it is requesting doing the HTTP get call to that URL, to this URL, and then that URL, it is hosted on sub server. That server is requesting the data from the database. That database is giving to the server that data, and then our request, that HTTP GET request is getting the response of this data. That's why it take few seconds. Okay, so this is our data. So we have ID, name, and of course username, email, and address, and city, apartment, so on. This is our data. So now we got the data, we can perform any type of operation. For example, I just want to extract all the names from here, or I want to extract all the emails from here. For example, you're working for a startup, and that is a uh, email marketing startup, and they are hired you as a software engineer, and they provided you the URL, and you got the data, and the data is very huge. And then they ask you, we want the name associated with the email itself, and I want this data at the end of the day. And they doesn't want in Python, they want in Excel or something else, or in uh, text file, or whatever they understand it very well. But in real world, people understand in Excel only, they ask data in Excel. So this can be work of a backend engineer, you working on Python. This can also be a work of data analyst, because this is a data scraping. So now you got the data, now you can perform n number of operation on this to get name and email. And that's what our error is all about above. We have the JSON file, from there we are converted into the dictionary, and then from that data we only trying to get the student name. Okay, so that's what the JSON format in Python and handling the data and that slide was all about. I hope this making you sense, because this all are real world examples, and in day-to-day life you need to do this. Of course, there are ample of APIs there in the real world, not just one. There will be a 25, 30, 50 APIs which will bring so large data that you need to handle it. If you want to be a data analyst or a backend engineer, then convert that data, do some operations, and then you need to give that data back to a front end engineer, and they will utilize those data in the UI. Okay, so this is how this works. Let's continue with our JSON response Python list. Okay, now data structure overview. This is important. API response, the API return structure data for processing. We have already discussed this. The data is organized into a list for access. I've already told you the data we have over here. The data we have here, if you see, this is a box bracket. This is a box bracket, and box bracket in Python indicate it is in a list format. It's in a list format. Understood? Values are extracted into usable formats for analysis, and dictionary inside it. In that list inside there is dictionary of key and value pair. So we need to understand how JSON return the data to Python. So if you see now, curly braces, and this is one data itself. I'm highlighting. Let me just copy this complete data, and let's create one new file. And okay, let me save that file as data.json for you all to understand it. Data.json, and let's paste it over here. Okay, it also copied everything. Okay, this is not in a JSON format, that's why it's giving and generating an error. Okay, I just copy only first line, or else this is a huge, and sorting it will be consuming more time. Okay, this is done. Where is the other thing? Just look for the comma. Done. Okay, I don't need this. I'm just explaining you. This is not the right format. Just want you all to see what type of data it returns. So it returns ID, email, address, suit, zip code, and again inside one dictionary there is another dictionary, and then I need to close this. Okay, why it is in red? This because this is not a JSON data, and I've created data.json. This is a list. If you see the box bracket, and inside a list there is a dictionary with a key and value, and inside a dictionary there is another dictionary which is another key and value. Okay, just for you all, I've created the data.json. This is not an actual JSON format. Means there is a JSON format. You can just copy paste and you can use a JSON formatter and then format the data, but we have converted this data into list and dictionary. So that's why inside data.json it's giving this red and means all error. Okay, for you all, just to show what data we have got from internet. Okay, we need to understand the data we are fetching from the API itself, because then only you can work on it, because you need to know the key. The ID is the key, username is a key, email is a key, address is a key, and so on. Let's continue. Okay, so we understand we got the response converted into list and the values, and inside the values in the dictionary, and it's in a form of keys and value. Let's continue. Now, accessing the API data. This is the most important thing. Up till now we have discussed data, API, JSON, dictionary, list. But in actual coding, how we can access this? This is the most important part. How we will using it, how we are performing any type of CURD operation. What is the CURD operation? Create, read, update, delete. Okay, so first thing first, structure. Understand the data structure written by API is crucial. That's why I just copy pasted that in a file, and I was just looking for the closing things, like list is open and close. There was dictionary, inside a dictionary I was just looking at the structure. The data often comes in nested format. That is the nested format. Okay, and requiring careful navigation to extract meaningful information. This line simply means if you want to access the latitude and longitude, it is the part of geo, and that geo is the part of this complete dictionary. So you need to know the nestedness of it, then only you can retrieve or you can get the latitude and longitude. Okay, that's what that simply line means. And then extracting the specific value from API response involves using key to access it. Of course, it is in a form of dictionary, so you need to handle it with the key, then only you will get the value as in the data to access the element in dictionary and list. Of course, this process allowed developer to manipulate and utilize data as needed. Once you get the key, means you get the data ultimately, and once you get the data, you can update the data, delete the data, change it, whatever you want to do with it. Once you access it with the help of the key, and you got the actual value, then whatever you want to do, you can do it. Okay, up till now, if you got it, just give me a thumbs up in a live chat, or answer it clear, then we will move on to the next topic. Fast, or else you want a short break? We can take a 5 minutes break. Let me quickly see the time. Okay, it's 9:35. Let's take a 5 minutes break. I will be back at 9:40, and there are three more topics. There are a few more topics, not three. There are a few more topics, and ultimately the project we will be seeing, and then we can say that our live session is complete. So let's take a 5 minutes break. I will be back at 9:40 itself. Okay. Meantime, if you have any error, just comment it in the live chat. I will be answering once I am back. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So let's jump on to the actual coding, and let me quickly revise you. Accessing, we are going to do an accessing the data we have fetched from that API using request, means ultimately http dot get. Okay, so let's quickly see the code. And before that, also, if you want to know the output of this data.json, I will just print. If you want to know the type of this data, because we I have explained you like it is an list inside the dictionary. Let's also see the output of it. Let me comment the actual data itself, and let's print it, clear the console, execute it. You will see the 200, and then it is in a list format, because ultimately the dictionary is inside the list. The list is the uh, outer part. If you see, the box bracket is the first it's starting, means the it is in a list. Understood? Okay, let's jump on to accessing the data. So we want to access the first data. Let's access the first data itself, which is this ID and name, everything. So how to access the API data, and before that, up till now everything is clear. Just give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up in the chat. So everything is inside the data. Let me comment this too also. Everything is inside the data. Yes, everything is inside the data, converted into the list. So first, I just waiting for your thumbs up that everything is clear. So this is the important part I'm starting with. I want to access the first element of the data itself. Okay, just waiting for you all to answer that yes, up till now everything is clear, then I can jump on to access the data which is from the API. And okay, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And meantime, if anyone is new over you, make sure to subscribe the Code with NM. Subscribe is free, Discord is free, and Code with NM quizzes, everything is free. I'm doing this free. Just make sure you subscribe. That will just motivate me to do this live and continue this forever and ever up till I am alive. Okay, so to access the first data, it's simply just data, because it is in a list format. I want to access the first element of it. So with the help of indexing, I'm just accessing the first element. Let's save it and see the output. And again it will fetch and then it brings. So this is our first data itself. See, ID1 name, and this complete thing belongs to ID1 only. So let's just copy this and have it over here. Let me remove everything. And I have, it's you to use. I don't want to waste time on it now. So this is how you access the data which we get from the API itself. Understood? This is how you access it. And we just haven't accessed the data. We have also access and fetch the first user. This is the first user. For example, you are creating a website and you have the user register and then log in. So you will provide like in school and college we have roll number for the bifurcation for each other. So this is the ID here. In real world we use ID, so we given the ID first, and the first user of this JSON placeholder website and whatever it may be, this is a first user and their ID is first. Okay, this is how you access the first user. Now the second thing, if I only want to access the name, and that's what I already asked you here in for student in example, and Shashank was able to guess it in some way, but the actual answer, I will show you right now how to access the value. Here we have accessed the first user inside the list. We have a huge list of data. We have already seen it, and inside that I've just retrieved the first user. This is the first user. Now understand the structure. Now understand the structure. This is our list. Inside list we have dictionary, and inside dictionary we have another dictionary. Okay, So to access the first data, I have accessed the list. The box bracket and 0 represent I am accessing the first value of the list. Now if you want to access the name, again I need to simply say name of the first user. So 0th index is the first user and I'm just accessing the name. Let's save it, clear the console, execute it, and you will see the name of that first user, and this was the answer for that ABBA question. Hope you understand. This is very important, how you access the API data which has been converted into list and dictionary in our example in Python. And in all the examples, if you try to fetch the data from the API itself in Python, it will be get converted into list and dictionary. So this is how you can access those. And let's just quickly verify this is the name, and we already seen this is a name. Okay, done. This is clear. This was the most important part. Okay, now if we want to loop it through the data, for example, like for, and let's name it user in, and we have everything inside the data, of course. And let's print I just want to print, let's print name only itself. What I am doing, curly braces. Okay, user and box bracket, double quotes, name. Simple. Will it work? Let's see, will it work or not, or it will give us an error. It's a nested list or multiple dimension. Yes. So it should be a parenthesis first thing first. Okay, save it. Yes, if you see, it is one list, inside it's a nested dictionary. Okay, and every time it will be same, it will be the list, and inside the list it will be a nested dictionary. Why? Because the JSON format in Python, if you want to understand it, it is in a dictionary format, but actually this is a JSON structure format. But for your sake, I'm saying this is a dictionary format. And if there is, like, in this way, like we have this type of data, just an example, so if you have this type of data, so ultimately when you fetch it in a Python, it will look like this is a list, inside list one dictionary, second dictionary, third dictionary, and then your list. This is, I'm giving you example of dictionary and list, but actually in JSON it is known as array of JSON, array of object. So this is one object, this is second object, this is third object, and the box bracket in other programming language represent an array. So this is known as an array of object. So this is a JSON, actual JSON format. That's why there is a no error in this file. Okay, for you, for your understanding session, I have done this. But for our in Python, just understand it. This is a list, and inside list we have nested. In our API case, we have a nested dictionary. Okay. So let's use for loop and let's see what will be the output over here. Let's clear the console and execute it. And let's wait for it. It will take time. Okay. So this is how we have successfully. Okay, let me remove this one also. You will say why we have two same name. I just comment it, save it, and re-execute it. Okay. Yeah. So we have successfully retrieved all the username, only name, with the help of their key. The key is name itself because we have already seen the data. So in a similar way, you can extract email also. If I say email, it will extract the email, and clear the console, execute it. It will extract email. If you say ID whatsoever, see, all the emails are here. Understood the real case example what I was giving to you, extract the name and email. This is how you need to do it. Any doubt, just ask me right here, right away, and clear it. If it is clear, give me a thumbs up and I will proceed further. Okay, So now my next question is, if I want to, let's see the data itself. Okay, there is a username, there is a name, there is an email, there is an address, zip code, and city, street, and other things. So if I want to print, okay, let me also, I want to see the actual data itself. Let me just unprint it to create one use case for you all, and then you all answer it. So I'm just printing the data itself. Where is the data? Okay, type of data I've printed it. I want complete data. Save it, clear the console. I want the complete data. Fast, bring. Yeah. We have name over here. We have company over here, of course, and then company is another list I can see. Another dictionary, sorry. The company, and the company name is the so and so Krona, and catchphrase multi-layer. I hope you are able to see it. If not, let me copy paste this here, and let us see this. What I'm trying to just say. Let me comma, let me find all the comma here and there, comma everywhere. Okay, it's too huge. Okay, so let's take some difficult example, like because you have already asked about the nested multi-dimension. Yes, of course, a multi-dimension. If you are aware of the 2D array, 3D array, then that is known as a multi-dimension, of course. So why it is important when you work with the computer vision in ML, and we will be working with the computer visions, and uh, we will be seeing and working with 3D image and 2D image at that time, depending on the capability of your system that can run the ML models in your local. In my, it won't run, so that's why I use the other tool sets available on internet, of course. So just went through to ML part, back to the basic of the Python. So in this example, as you have already said, that is the nested, not list, but it is a dictionary. It is inside list, of course, but it is a dictionary. You can see the curly braces clearly. Okay, so I just want to print the name of that person, and that person is working or associated with which company. So the company I also want to print it. So it is a dictionary, and inside that dictionary the geo is another dictionary, and then company is another dictionary. So it's a dictionary nested dictionary. Simple. So let's see how we can do it. It's simple, and now I will comment this data itself. Hello. So we already seen about this also email, so let's comment that. And this is a bit trickier, but in printing statement it's not, because right now you have not worked with the nested dictionary. That's why you are seeing like how will this printed. But make sure you learn this right away right now, because all the APIs will be nested itself. Means one dictionary, two dictionary, three dictionary. Inside three dictionary there will be more six dictionary, and it is a huge jungle of dictionary. I remember you already asked me about the game, but I'm in the middle of something important, and I will talk about that later in a QA session. Let's talk about that in a Q&A session. Okay, so I want company. If you want only the company name, and we are accessing the company dictionary directly, and inside company, if you see, first let's take an easy example. Inside company we have company name. So if you want to access that also, this is the way. Okay, simple. Let's save it. Let's take first easy example, and then we will see the difficult one. See, we have successfully printed company name. This is the company. It's inside the dictionary itself, and inside that company we have name. So we have successfully printed company name, and here we have successfully printed the username. Okay, so if you want to print together, we can also have one more print over here, print user, and what you need to do is simply name, and let's see what will be the output. Don't get confused in name and company name. The above one is the company name, the below one is the person's name. Okay, you can see from here it is the person's name. Here it is a company name, the person name, company name, person name. Now why is this so? Because of our printing. Now what we have told Python is for loop users in the data. That user is our variable data. We have all the data is in the data variable, and printing we are saying first print the first company name and then print the first user name. Then again loop will execute and then it will print the second company name and second username. That's why the company name is first, the first user, the second company name and the second user. So let's take this two example only. Corona, remember that Corona and Gram, and we have our data. The name is Gram and the company name is Corona over here itself. That's why it's just a printing thing. You can print however and whatever you want, and then you can get the desired output. Okay. Hope up till now everything is clear. We we understand the data, we converted the data, we loop through the data, we access the data. If you want, you can manipulate the data now, because now you can access user name, so you can update this data also. Understood? Up till now everything is clear. Okay. If you want, if you're asking me Python or Java, I will always vote for Python. Okay, let's continue our thing, and let's see what's next is all about. Okay, so we have accessed the API data, extracted it, and loop through it. The next slide was the looping through the data. So iteration, we have done the iteration, access the data, and we have used the dynamic things and everything. It is the nested thing in the dictionary. We have already got those value and printed. If you are able to print it, you can manipulate it because you know how to update the value of dictionary. We have already seen in the previous live. So you can go through that live and update the data also. So this all we have done, loop through the user data and change it. The nested JSON structure, we have already seen the organized data in layers. It is a list inside the list, and we have the nested dictionary inside it. And here is the users. Commonly used API, nested JSON enable developers to access detailed information. Of course, usually in real world, we need to create the nestedness, because one thing is important, that is generic for everyone. For example, let's take the story mode only. We have already seen the code with an M institute, so everyone is student. So the first dictionary which everyone will have a tag of student, so that is my first dictionary or my first initial data. Now inside that I will create the nestedness, like the interested in the different courses, their names, their ages, and xyz. This is called the accessing the detailed information. Means first time of creating it, we mapping it in the such a way, like in future if you want to access that data with the help of JSON and converting into the list and dictionary, it will be access to us, and we can do multiple things, and it will be a fast to do and update everything, because we know the loopingness and the nestedness of the data. So first you need to fetch the data and then understand the data. If you understand the data, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, that's what this definition is all about: efficiently and smoothly communication between client and application server database and enriching user experience. Of course, once you get the data, then you can manipulate it, you can do whatever you want to do it, and then you can showcase it into the UI front end if you want. If you want to be a backend engineer, up till now what I have teach you is that's it, that is enough. Okay, let's jump on to the next slide, which is the mini project overview. Purpose is create a directory to search the student detail, because we have already seen the story of the Code with an Institute. And data source use an API to fetch the student information. So if we have an handy API, if not, we will use the same API itself, and the output display the result in user friendly format. So up till now we have done the part 1 and part 2, but we haven't done the third part, which is the format is not understandable to users. Vote for Hindi. You want to learn Hindi? If you've seen my old videos, I was doing it in the Hindi only itself. Of course, it is difficult for you to understand English, Sashank. I'm. It's, English is not my first language, of course, but why I switched to English is I was that time also a working professional, and I realize it's understanding in your native language is easy. Understanding the concept in your native language is easy, but in interview, that individual aren't able to answer, because in so many years I have take n numbers of interviews. I can't count it. I can't remember many of them, but I remember the persons who aren't able to answer me just because of the language. The English was the language barrier for them. Why? Because they have learned everything in their native languages, and the issue with them is, I'm not just pointing out to you, I'm just saying to everyone who will watch this video and those who are live. So for them this is a learning, and if you finding English is difficult, just try to focus on English itself, because ultimately your resume will be in English, you will be giving your interviews in English itself. Okay, language should never be a barrier to learn. After all, coding isn't written in Hindi or English, it's written in logic. Of course, it's true, it's written in language, but we are learning Python, and Python is an English written language. And it's because I think your English is very well, because you have commented it and the comma and everything. I can see it's appropriate, but the people, because offline also from past more than 10 plus year, I've taught many students, those who uh, don't know a single letter in English, and they need to learn English, because ultimately you need to speak about yourself in interview. The first round will be, tell me about yourself, and then if you aren't able to explain yourself, the interviewer will thought, if he don't know about himself, he don't know what projects he have done, he aren't able to explain it, how we will take him to the next round. Means they will see this candidate is incapable or whatsoever, they will be thinking of that candidate. So make sure uh, not that level of fluency in English, but you should understand at least, if you hear something in English, if you hear any question in English, you understand it, process it, and just in slow play pace you should answer it, because the world communicate in English. And also software engineering is all not all about coding. You need to attend many uh, meetings where discussions and project discussion, product discussion, planning, features, and what are the bugs are being discussed, and then we work on it. So you need to be part of the team ultimately. So you need to learn English itself. It's for everyone. I'm not pointing out to one person. Okay, and also English is not my first native language. Over the years, I've also upgraded myself. I read books. I love to read books. Not Chetan Bhagat, of course. I read How to Be a Millionaire, How to Be a Billionaire, and there are multiple ample, like How to Cultivate a Small Habit. There is a ample of books out there. Just make sure you read it. Or I think right now you are in the world of online tech and stuff. So there is a Kindle, so you can read free Kindles also, and PDFs and available and everything. So make sure you improve your English. You don't want to be a big star into speaking in English, but you should speak a bit of it. Okay, so let's jump on to my first language. Isn't English either, but I learned because it is a universal language of technology. Don't let language stop you. Focus on understand and concept. Well said, well said, well said. And appreciate you're also the first. I think majority of Indians, their first language isn't English. Yes, if you are Indian, your first language won't be in English. Living, I think living Christians, living them. But I'm not sure what Christians consider them as an Indians or not if they are born and brought up in India. Okay, let's jump onto the mini project. That is some separate debatable topic. Okay, let's just jump onto the mini project. I don't want to start a debate here in my life. Okay, let me comment all this. And don't worry about the codes and everything. I already provide the every session notes in my Discord. So make sure you join my Discord. That is, and let me just quickly show you. There is an announcement channel. Of course, the session note of my last live was all about the oops and polymorphism and encapsulation in inner and real world mini project. Everything is there in a PDF format, so you can open it in your mobile phone also. And there was a weekly challenge I have already released, like mini project on noobs, and the challenges on noobs. Hash 8 means there are more than more 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 and whatsoever. Okay, so make sure you join the Discord. The link is in the pin live chat, and also for the people who are watching this video offline, I will be commenting those two links. So make sure you join it. This is for you. I have created it, and it's free. It's completely free. If you're getting everything free, just make sure you invest your time and learn it and be a software engineer and go ahead in life. Okay. Okay, let's start coding. Let's start coding. So Okay, let's use this only. I just don't want to. Let's use this only up till here. We have, let me just cut this, and everything is commented, so it won't be an issue. So what we have done, we have just a API. We have fetched the API data, and then we have converted into the list and dictionary and store into the data itself. Okay, now okay, how you can do it. See, here, if you see the general is open for everyone. This is open for everyone for discussion, and already I discuss many things with people here. If there is an issue while opening a file or anything else, they discuss with me over here. So this is a general, you can discuss here. And also the code sharing, this is also open for everyone. You can share your code among yourself and with me also. Okay, hope I answer your question. Well, let me quickly just, meantime, any other question, just ask me, because I just need to complete my code. And I'm just seeing my live chat also. It is in opened here itself. Let's ask input, enter a name, simple, and I will have one boolean value, means a counter as false. I will explain you this in few minutes. Bear with me. This is an extra line. And for user in data, let's say, and okay, I thought there was one comment. And let's search for name. I will explain you this in bit, and of course it's lower and upper. If there is something else, we will see that. And also I want to, why we need to do this in lower and upper, because we already know the data. We have already seen the data. Sorry, we have already seen the data. And while seeing a data here only itself, we have one name, and if you see the first letter is capital, and in their last name also first letter is capital. If it's everything is in caps, it's good to compare, to find it. If it everything is in lower letters or lower case, so it is easy to compare. But because if you know about ASCII value, small l and capital L ASCII value is different, so this program won't be able to uh, do searching, do comparing of those two. If you're comparing small l with a capital L, it won't return true, it will return false, because their ASCII values. And what is ASCII value, please Google it, because I can't cover everything in the live session. So name and user, and anything else you have any doubt, so just make sure you comment it. And let me just copy paste same thing, 1 2, and also let's take this from above, and let's say email. Here also email. This is just a printing, because we already seen the name and the email and the username is everything is in the lowercase. That's why the user I'm passing that in the lowercase. And say let's their phone, if they have phone. Let me quickly check it if they're a phone. Let's search it. Yes, they have phone, so we can use this also, phone. And let's say company name, and here I will be saying company, which company they are working. Sorry, company, and colon and comma, and I also want space here, just a beautification of the printing statement. And if this is found, then our flag, this is the line number 38, found equals to false, is known as flag in programming world. And the flag is nothing but a switch, like on and off, so false and true. If this condition is true and we found all this data, just convert that flag from false to true, and we need to break it from this complete loop itself, because we are inside the loop. Don't forget this. And then we need to also have one scenario where if the data is not found, if not found, simple, If not found means this is true or false. If you answer it, let's see how good you are at with booleans. User not found. Simple. Let's save it, clear the console, and I'm not just directly printing that data. Okay, let's execute it. If there is any error, we will solve it and allow to solve the error. Enter a name. So let me copy this only. Copy. Okay, I need to execute this on a terminal. Hold a second. Python typo Python and it's app.py. Now it will ask enter name and let's paste it and hit enter, and you can see the name is that exact name. And let's check all the values because we have that data. Let's copy the email, come here, search for it, and okay, it's not searching, but yes, you can see I just copied it and it's the same thing here. Let's also check for the phone number, copy it and just come over here, and if you see 1770736 170,736 and then end it 442, it's ended with 442. Of course it's the same, and the company name we already know, it's Corona whatever, Corona. Okay, so we have successfully, what we have done, we have retrieved the data from the API. Do you have 3D printer? Okay, so we have successfully just retrieve all the data from this URL and converted into the list and dictionary store in the data. And then we have created our own program that if you want to search anything from the data we have retrieved, and we want to search with the name, that's why I'm asking the name. I've created one flag to make it false and true to control my loop, to break my loop, that's why. So I've created one flag and initially it is false. Then I've created a for loop to access the data because it is the nested dictionary. So I've created one variable to iterate the data itself, so for user in data. And the first condition is if username means that this name, just for an example, to first I'm converting it into all lowercase. To convert everything into lowercase is dot lower, parenthesis open and close, and search. This is our search, means this is the holding the value which user will enter. So I am the user here. I've entered this name. This name will be gets converted into lowercase. If you want to see that, let me just simply print the search dot lower, save it, clear it. Okay, clear it and execute it. Enter a name, we will enter the same thing, and we will also enter some name, a name which is not there. See, the end one is the line number 52. It converted into a dot lower, with the help of dot lower method you convert this into lowercase. So this is lower, this is lower, and it will check if the thing is found, means the name is found, then only it will enter the if, and it will print the name, the email, the phone number, and other things. Because I know the structure of the data which we have retrieved, that's why it is now easier for me to print them. The only logic over here was the for loop and this if condition. So any name user search, if it is there here, it will directly bring those data and print it in this format, and then it will convert the flag from false to true, and then we will break from this loop. And if data is not found, it will directly from if data is not found means this if condition is false, it will jump on here and then print user not found. Let's see that also. Let me save the program and clear the console, and let's try to search Nilesh. As we know, Nilesh is not there in the data, and you see it's directly say user not found. Simply this if condition is being executed. If not found, this is English statement. Let's decode it. If is the condition, not means exclamation, and found, which is initially false, with the help of this not it will become true. So the found is true means ultimately we are saying if this is not executed, make this found as true and go inside this if and directly print user not found. Understand this? This was a trickier part. Line number 49 is the trickier part. It's nothing but this not will do opposite. Not what not does. It do the opposite thing. If the thing is true, not will make it false. If it is false, not will make it true. So this two words is making this if condition true, and if the condition is true, it will enter inside the if and print or do whatever is inside the print. That's why with the help of not, I'm making this if condition true and printing user not found if user is actually not found. And understand this? This was the trickiest part, and this is the mini project on real API. This is not, this all data is not in our local system. We are fetching this data from the internet. If you want to see it, just copy this URL and come to the Google. Let me open here and just enter it, and you can see the same data. The same data, it is there. Okay, it is in a JSON format, that's why it is in a structure format, but we are getting and converting it into the list and dictionary, that's why it is messy over there. Okay, so this is the data we have already fetched, and this is live on the internet. Okay, so we have successfully fetch a URL, learn about the request, and then converted the data into list and dictionary, and then we have created one mini project, the real world project. This is how in real world you will manipulate or access the API data itself. If found equals to false, if found is equals to false, then that means you found the data, na? That means you found the data, then it will come here and then it will do this all things. There is only two condition. If found is false, that will go inside the for loop. If found is true, that will directly jump to here. That was the condition is all about. Do you got it? This flag is all about if the found is false, then we are saying to jump into the for loop and if condition do the stuffs. That's why after finding that particular individual or data, we are making the found true purposely to break from this if and loop itself. Understood? Yes, no? Okay, I hope you got it. So this is how we in real time in MNCs also we work with data. First we get the data, convert it into the list and dictionary, we understand the data, and then we create a simple program. This is the backend program. That's why I'm using the terminal output here. You can also create one UI, and from the UI user will enter their name and then their email, phone number and company will be displayed. This is how the real world application is being made. For an example, your Gmail, you just enter your email ID and password, and when you click on the icon on the right top corner, you will get your details in a beautiful, because there is a beautiful UI, CSS is there, so you will see your name, your email and other stuffs. This is how from the JSON data Gmail is fetching and showing you all those datas on your Gmail itself or Instagram or any application. This is how it works. In backend, this type of code is there. Okay, so this is real world mini project. Understand it? If yes, the future thing is this. We are done with the phase 2 and we are moving to the phase 3. In phase 3, we will actually learn this. We have used a third party API. In this example, we will be creating our own API. For example, we will be creating /user /admission form /xnYz, as I'm saying it. We will be creating our own APIs. We will be seeing, we have seen the get call, we will be seeing post call, update call, delete call. We will be creating our own DB, local DB, like this student.json. And also at the end of the phase 3, we will be having MongoDB, and we will be creating our own database in MongoDB. We will update and fetch the data from MongoDB, update the data in MongoDB, delete the data in the MongoDB, and do everything with the help of our own APIs which we have created from scratch. So phase 3 is very much important, but before phase 3, you should learn about everything here, about the request and about, and I am doing just not with the help of request was just the easiest thing to understand the get thing, but I will be using fast API because this is now the requirement in MNC. Yeah, we can use the Flask for that. I already know these things. Not Flask. Now Flask is not that trending. Flask is now the you can say the old code, the legacy code. All the MNCs, those who are using Flask API in their Python backend code, are now just coming to the fast API, FAST. I'm not talking about Flask. It is now not outdated, but it is now legacy code. Legacy means old code. And why they are, all the MNCs are now asking about fast API, which is trending, why it is trending. I will be explaining this all theoretical knowledge, what and how fast API in real world, and why it is in demand in the phase 3. So I will be starting phase 3 on this Saturday. I've already promised that I will be coming live on Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. I've came on Monday, I came on Wednesday, and Saturday we will be starting with phase 3. So make sure up till Saturday you just go through all the oops concept, file handling, error handling, and of course this JSON and API and get and everything, and all the notes and everything I will be providing in the Discord. So make sure up till Friday you complete all this, because Saturday will be the most important thing, and we will be creating weather API or the Code with NM Institute, and actually we will be creating our own APIs, and then those APIs will be communicating with our MongoDB and so on. So the phase 3 is much more important for you all. Once this is complete, then I will be jumping on the phase 3. Also includes GitHub. So because now we know code, we understand code, we understand the concept, we have created our project, but is it safe to keep the project in our local? No, of course not. So what is the importance of GitHub and Git? I will be explaining, and I will be just pushing everything onto Code with NM GitHub, and you will also learn that, because that is most important. People in every MNCs or any company, they will ask you know Git and GitHub, and you should needs to mention the GitHub link and every project you have post to GitHub in your resume. That will increase the weightage and the probability for you to get selected in for the interview. Okay, so this is all built there in the phase 3. So make sure you don't miss the phase 3, which is starting from this Saturday. Okay, so is there any doubt? You can just clear it up right here, right away. I'm done with the phase 2 today, and we'll be starting phase 3, and I'm very excited for the phase 3 because I love to create APIs and those stuffs, the cloud technology and everything. Once the up till GitHub everything is done, you can call yourself as a Python developer, a backend developer in Python, and that's up to you. I leave it up to you what you want to call. I just call it as a backend developer, expert in Python or intermediate in Python. Okay, so this was a complete 3 phase I've already promised, and up till 2 phase we have completed, and I will be jumping onto the 3 phase. So is there, if there any doubt, I will wait for a few seconds. It's already 10:30. I'm from last 2.5 hours. I'm speaking non-stop and teaching non-stop. So make sure those who are seeing it live, make sure to comment. That's keep me motivated for to make this type of content for you all, because it is completely free. And if you are learning this content and everything, it takes hours and hours to make it, because I just don't come and randomly code over here. It's complete planning, that what to teach, how to teach. There should be a proper roadmap, there should be a proper example. I need to search about this JSON placeholder API, which should make sense, and what will be the example. Will this example cover all the topics regarding the Get API? So this takes a good amount of efforts and time. So this I do for you all. So you all make sure to subscribe, so that will keep me motivated to do this type of cool stuff. And at the end of the phase 3, I will be revealing one of the awesome projects I'm doing right now, and will be starting that series. And after completing the Python backend phase 3, being a Python developer, once you are being a Python developer, you can go for a job hunt. If you want to connect with me how to apply for a job being a Python backend, or else if you want to continue the journey, I will be starting with data analyst. So the after completing the phase 3, I will be jumping onto the data analyst and Power BI and everything. Okay, So there is no doubt, I can see, means everything is clear, and that is good, means you are paying attention live. So let's wind it off. I'm on a mission to make you market ready software engineers. So code with precision, ship with vision. Subscribe now and join the mission. See you in the next live. Till then, bye.